Hey everybody, good morning. Good morning, good morning. Oh, something's wrong with my control panel. Hold on. No. What the devil? Give me the juice. There we go. There we go. Yeah, you see it. Yeah, always with the looks like we've got Philip, Larry, AT. I don't recognize your name, but welcome to the stream. We've got Donald, we've got Francois, Leah, Nikki, Rex, Eric, Thrifty Nifty, Laura, Arturo, Doris, General Rush, good to see you, sir. Diana, Gary, Cliff, Robert, Rosalind, Rob, Helicopter Gal, Penny, I don't recognize your name, but welcome to the stream. And Sledge, good to see you as always. Wade, Pierre, glad to have everybody. If you're brand new here or you just don't know how to chat, make sure you're subscribed right down here. Click the button right down here in the bottom corner and be a subscriber on the channel. A few seconds later, you can start chatting on the live stream with me. And hey, I've got some information I'm supposed to throw out here from the team. Give me 1 second here. Let me pop this up. All right, today I'm going to be live at 10:30, right after this stream, with Lance Ippolito. I'm still down here in Jacksonville, Florida, and you can come see some of the stocks that the brand new Apollo algorithm fired off. Yesterday we had the in and out winner while I was live. If you missed that yesterday, you can go see it yesterday. Yesterday's live stream, you know, in the back catalog history after we're done here. And we have another show coming up today, so you don't want to miss out on that. And let me grab the link and I'll throw it over to the chat right here, and I'll give you a reminder at the end of the stream. But here you go, right here. You can save this link, and when we're done here, like I said, 10:30, we're going live again to cover the Apollo algo. You can see it right down here, Apollo algo, and I've got the cute little guy in the background. So I am not at home still, so this show will not quite be as slick and nice as normal. Hopefully you can hear me just fine and see me just fine, but we're going to try to do the normal stuff we do. Now, the big news of the day may be the fact that NVDA, which, let me pull this up before I share the screen, has a potential Head and Shoulders, and we'll draw it on the chart here for you. Make sure you can see it and I can see it, and there we go. I got the screen in the right place, and check this out right here. Check it out. Right. Oh, let's do this before we do that. All trading involves a substantial risk of loss. Past performance not necessarily indicative of future results. This presentation intended to be informational, educational, fun, entertaining, not a recommendation to buy or sell any financial instrument at all. So no stocks, no options, no bonds, no forex, no futures, no cryptos, no treasuries. Don't long them, don't short them, don't trade them. There may be a substantial risk of loss. You know, there's a buyer, there's a seller, there's a winner, there's a loser. All trading. I mean, come on. And if you're looking for me to tell you what to do, that's not what I do. If you desire that personal financial advice, you need to consult a financial advisor, which is not what I'm doing. All right. Hate to say it. I'm just a dude sharing stuff, and I tend to get lucky. I may never get lucky again. I may never get another thing right again. That's past performance, not necessarily indicative of future results. Now, this Head and Shoulders. Check this baby out. It's not the best. It's not the most cleanest that you could possibly see. And maybe or maybe not, you know, we have kind of a shoulder, a head, and then a shoulder. Look at her. Look at it. And, you know, where do you want to put the shoulder? And just in case that light mint green isn't coming through too strong, let's darken her up just a hair. Look right here. There we go. Look at that. That one, yikes, right? Yikes. Look at this. Head to the neckline. Look at this. Ooh, where did I say it might go to? Ooh, let's look at the daily. That's only, didn't even get us all the way though. Ooh, be careful out there, all right? Be careful expecting NVIDIA to go higher. That's, there's somebody I know says, no bueno. That doesn't look too good to me right there. So definitely, if you're long NVIDIA, watch out. If that starts breaking down, whoo, that could be a vicious one right there. Yeah, that's a warning sign yet again. All right, another warning sign out there. Now, today there weren't a ton of, not a ton of advancers today. Yesterday there were like no decliners, and today not a ton of advancers. So I'm going to mute out the Slack there. And that's interesting. Like yesterday was a weird day. Today's a weird day. I think all week's going to be a weird week because we have the early close tomorrow. We have no trading on Thursday. Happy birthday, America. And so this is a lot like a Thanksgiving week as far as trading, and I've yet to make money on a Thanksgiving week, at least significant money. A lot of times it's just a big chop fest, and that's what we might get this week. So please, I urge you to be careful out there. I mean, it's your money, right? Nobody's watching out for your money more than you are. Please be careful. All right. And I see a few more people jumping in the stream. Dave, Dan, Alan, Ed, Valerie, welcome everybody. And yeah, who said that Tesla was going to have surprise deliveries? Who said that last week? Is anybody surprised? Anybody surprised? We're going to come up, test this line right here, probably heading into earnings right there, and then we're probably going to do this right back to the roadmap line right there. I did. My Cybertruck that I got last week was number 20,000. That was going to be a surprise number of deliveries because nobody was talking about that because the recalls were only up to the 11,000s, right? And hey, that's a lot of money just in Cybertrucks, and I had a feeling that they were going to surprise on deliveries, and right there, nice pop. So we'll see what actually happens at the open. So alrighty, looking on down through here, S5FI. Look at that candle yesterday. Look at this. That was a beast right there. Still somewhat of a let's just use a real tool that draws a real line instead of my shaky hand on this mouse right here. Look at this. We are breaking potentially yesterday. If we don't take this back today, this is a sign that we're going to get that right there. Right there. And that's S5FI. So if you've never seen this before, this is S&P 500 stocks above their 50-day moving average right there, written on the back right there. S5FI is the ticker. You may be like, how do I buy this? You don't buy it. It's an index, all right? This is a giant market oscillator right here, and we've been on a path to go down to the bottom for a while. And this is indicating we might be done with this little watermelon seed squeeze bull crap thing we're doing, and we may go down. That's a warning sign right there. We may get a flush out in the market. Now, this flush out may not be the flush out that I've been talking about, where we're going to experience the next 10 years down. All right, this may be a temporary consolidation, and we go make one more pop. It's entirely possible, and that take crypto up to where I expect crypto to go to. Crazy can keep being crazy. So this may be a temporary flush out, but it could develop into something bigger. So you've got to stay on your toes. All right, don't stay wrong. I say that all the time. For those of you new here, one of my core tenets, my Jeffrey sayings, whatever you want to say it, Jeffrey isms, I don't know. Don't stay wrong, right? If the market proves you wrong in the market, like you're in a trade, you're like, all right, here's where I'm right. This is what I think is going to happen. Here's where I'm wrong. And if the market proves you wrong, don't stay wrong. If you get to that wrong point and you don't close your trade, you go, oh, I'm going to double down, and then it drops more, and then you're like, oh, I'm going to double down again. Then you're like 4 times your original position. If you went a full position in the beginning, now you're 4 times over what you should be, and if it keeps going down, you're going to take a big loss, all right? Even if you keep your initial position and to those points where it just keeps proving you wrong, you're going to take way more loss than if you just gotten out when the market proved you wrong. Think about it. That's so powerful. Don't stay wrong, all right? Staying wrong, it's not being wrong that costs you the big money. It's staying wrong. That's what I say, all right? So don't stay wrong in the markets. Please, 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 don't stay wrong, all right? When the market's proving you wrong, just GTFO, all right? Now, let's talk about the 200-day. That was our wiki candle there. If we break that head and shoulders pattern, and let's darken that one up. I don't know if it's my screen or just but it looks really, really super light. So darken that one up, and that one's almost more of a head, but kind of a head and shoulders. If we break down, that one could possibly quickly reach down the 40s, and that's S&P 500 stocks above their 200-day moving average right there. So that's a much slower moving moving average right there. And if we push that down, once we get below the 50%, that's 50% of the S&P 500 stocks. So we're talking 250 stocks below their 200-day moving average. And it's been a while since we've been to the bottom, all the way back here. And Apollo's trying to trade something we can't trade. And right there, anybody recognize that right there? That was the bottom of the market back in September, October 2022. We just now poked out to the top, and we're probably back on a path to go back to the bottom right here. And it's eventually going to happen. How long it takes? Sometimes it takes a year, sometimes it takes 2 to make the climb or the descent. So we'll see what happens. There's just another warning sign out there. There's a lot of warning signs, and they keep stacking up. All right, so be careful. Now, S5TW, this one's faster than either of the 100 stocks above their 20-day, and we kind of missed hitting the bottom here. We did hit it back in April. We may go down and hit it again, and we did touch the top. So we missed touching it right back here in May. We did touch the top after we touched the bottom. So like I said, this is a giant market oscillator. This one runs a lot faster because the 20-day moving average, only takes 20 days to pull it up and down, whereas the 200-day takes 200 days to move. It's much slower, and then the 50-day is kind of in between, closer to the 20-day, but 20, 50, and 200 commonly used moving averages by practically everybody in the market except JT. I usually use the robot. Funny enough. So that's what the whole Apollo algorithm is built on, is the roadmap line. Now, we had some pretty awesome trades yesterday. We had some, just touching on some stuff here. We had Morgan Stanley while I was live yesterday morning, and the market's about to open here in about a minute and a half. And then we had LI right here. We had Apple in and out. I know some people got that. Good job. We had Microsoft fire off, but not come to the target yet. And we had Sundial come in right at 3:30 while I was live again yesterday. Now, like I said, I'm going to be live with Lance about 10:30 after I wrap this up here with you today. So we'll see what the Apollo kicks out today. If you've missed out on this, the opportunity to join the stream, I threw it in the chat there, coming up at 10:30. And right here, coming back to ES, we're being a little soft here overnight. Now, I have to be honest, I have not been able to keep up with the market quite to the extent I normally do when I'm at home. That's the side effect of traveling. But this is bearish right here. We are underneath this roadmap line on the 15-minute chart. We tried to push through yesterday right here, and we rejected pretty hard so far right there, down here. Now, we were pushing lower lows. Look at this, lower lows. This is a warning sign yet again from the market. Now, if that first move down was 5 ways down, we got the retrace. We actually made a higher high, and we may push down a lower low and wrap this baby up. So this move up went a little higher than I kind of expected, and this kind of set it up in a big question mark. Big question mark as far as where we're going next. So watch out. We can go higher from here. All right, this is unclear. It didn't set up a clear downside. It hasn't set up. Here goes the market. And it didn't set up a clear move up higher. So be careful. Be careful. And let's see, Airbnb. Yeah, there's a brand new one. Let's go refresh the list. Airbnb. Yep. Look at that baby right there. Nice $2 target right there on Airbnb. Cha-ching. Nice, nice, nice. Let's go check out the chart, shall we? Click it here. Go check her out. So here's what we got. Here's how the pattern works. We've got a high. We've got a low. Right here. That's the high. Right there's the low in the roadmap line. Roadmap line bounce. That was the trigger. Yesterday at the close, we actually opened a little lower. The Apollo algo is going to buy this, right? It's buying it right there, and the target is up there, probably 153.46. Let's see what the actual, 153.47. Right there, the target. Right there. Now, you may be like, well, JT, how do you figure out the stop, right? How do you figure out the stop? It's $1 below the low, right there. Always $1 below the low. and doesn't matter which, so that does kind of skew it. Like something that's $5, a dollar below low, that's 20% stop. But something that's $150, a dollar below low, is like, it's like nothing, right? But so $1.48 ish is going to be the stop. I don't have the exact price on the stop right now, and there you go. That's that one fired off right there, and you can see the win rate and everything. Historical, 34 trades. That's a statistical population. 79% of the time it works out. Profit factor 1.98. Usually lasts about 38 candles. That's about 3 days, give or take. It's all pretty strong stuff there. So watch out. I mean, that one could work pretty well. All right. I don't usually do live trading, so I'm not going to do that. Now, PSA, service announcement. Usually, typically, historically, for 3 years now, I've done 30 Minutes of Awesome on Tuesdays. I will be traveling home today during 30 Minutes of Awesome. I'll be on an airplane, unable to do 30 Minutes of Awesome today. I am assuming I get home and everything's cool tonight. I plan to do it tomorrow after the market's closed. The market does close early. I plan to do it like probably 5 o'clock tomorrow is my plan. Everything goes smooth, and I'll pop on, do 30 minutes of your request, assuming people show up. I need you to show up to do that, because what's a request show if there's nobody there to make requests? So if you guys commit to being there, I'll commit to doing it tomorrow, assuming all my flight and everything goes smoothly and I get home and Kimberly makes it to the airport to pick me up tonight. Hey, Kimberly, glad to see you. My favorite subscriber made it to the show right there. All right. So that's what we got. So we got fresh new trade right there on Airbnb. Target right up here, right up there. We'll see. See if we get there. Is anybody excited about that one? Anybody taking it? Anybody? Let me know in the chat right there. Let me know in the chat. And let's get back into the list for the day. Now, don't let your bias on the market skew taking awesome trades. It doesn't matter what the market's doing. Some of these can buck the trend, all right? Doesn't matter. So don't get caught up in the bias like, well, the market's going down, I'm not taking Airbnb long. If that's the way you feel, just go lower risk. Or don't. You can skip it. You can skip it. But getting caught up in biases is always dangerous. All right, Ed, cool. And NQ, look, a little bit choppy. And we were on the 15-minute with ES. And NQ is not respecting that bearishness. So we may see the fact that NQ pulled back. And we may see this launch out again right up here. So we may, big tech could rally higher while the ES just be kind of choppy and weird. And then Russell here, look at that. Talk about some choppy sideways garbage right there. Just this one, even on the daily chart though, this is looking kind of gnarly. If we break down below the support at the roadmap line, link is in the description too, for both the show for the Apollo, and if you want the roadmap line, it's like $5. I mean, come on. Who can afford $5 to roadmap line? This thing is powerful, all right? It powers the Apollo. I mean, Apollo is built with it inside. And that's what Apollo looks for, is the pattern, the bounce, and the trigger right there. So, all right, cool, David. Awesome. Hope the trade works out. I'm unable to trade until I get home. I just have a personal rule. I don't trade while I'm traveling. I have lots of trades on, but I try not to make decisions when I can't look at the charts. And look at this. Look. This is the Apollo setup right here. Look what we've done. Dun 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 dun. We are breaking above the resistance zone, which sets us up for oil to rally up to this 89 to 90 zone. And that could happen very, very quickly right here. Look at this. Look at that right there. I've been waiting for this for days. If we can get that close above this zone right there. Right there. If we can close above here, we're probably going to go up here. Right there. I'm kind of excited about this. I have some long exposure to oil, looking for that to happen, and I'd like it. I'd like it a lot. I don't know about you. Been waiting for this oil to break out for, gosh, it feels like 2 years now. It's like the ramp up and the waiting, and here we go. We're so close to potentially going to break out and head on higher and go test the major resistance at 105, and this is the same pattern, the same Apollo pattern The same pattern Apollo looks like, except on a much bigger time frame. We're looking at like a weekly time frame here. Look at this. If we can break above this 105, we're possibly going on up here. 148, 170. That would be some crazy moves right there. And I'm excited if you can't tell. So, shares on Airbnb. Cool, Laura. Love it. Love it. Hopefully we make money, right? Hopefully. All right. So that's oil in a nutshell. And gold rolling through. Checking her out. Still not great. Now, if you're in gold rush, the market's closed tomorrow at trigger time, so we're not going to take a trade. So, just letting you know. There you go, in advance. Like, JT, are you going to pick it on Thursday? No, the market's closed Thursday too. So there's just not going to be a great opportunity on gold rush this week, and I'm just gonna take it easy. Just take a vacation from trying to get that trade and make it work tomorrow. All right. BTC. That was a strong candle yesterday. Marginal candle today so far. I really would like to see this break out and take a run. Are we going to do it? I don't know. BTC USD. Look at the actual spot market instead of the futures market. That was pretty strong so far. If we can get some continuation, I'd really like to see that. I don't like that rejection candle. I'd like to take that and get on through this trend line. Let's just get up on the top of that. Let's get up here. Let's pop up. Just do that. And then we can go on higher. Right there. All right. That's what I'm looking for on Bitcoin. Ethereum. Ether. Go, web, go. And the futures chart on Ethereum just doesn't look very clean. Let's bring up the spot market right here. See, we came up just shy of touching the roadmap line right there. And I wanted to see it. It was like $30 shy. And Goose has this theory that when a lot of people watch this, we tend to truncate these patterns. But I want it to touch. So I have not jumped into my position on Ethereum yet. I am still holding out for this 3,200 level right here. Maybe we hit it, maybe we don't. Maybe this is just a temporary rally and then we actually dip in there. Yeah, I don't know. I'd like to see that right there, as I said. But doesn't have to. Doesn't have to. That could be in the bottom and we break out and go and it's on its way to like 5,000. All right, entirely possible. It's just a little bit unclear and mucky right now between Bitcoin and Ethereum, and a lot of crypto on my update this week looked like it could flush, do a bigger flush. So it does make me a little bit nervous. And dollar right here holding this resistance right here. Didn't quite break out. Apollo did take a long in the dollar, and 106.87 is the target right up there. Basically 106.80. So that's kind of, I expect. You may be like, well, what kind of percent profit? You know, look at this, 86% of the time when this is set up, we're going higher, and that's the target right there, right up there. Now, the length of this, 40 candles. All right, that puts us out a ways right there. That's 40 candles for the duration, not just 40 days on the calendar. So what would that look like? It would look like this right here. Dun, 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 40 bars right there. We're talking about Friday, August 16th. So a month and a half, this thing can fart around before it gets all the way up here. Right up here. It can be like before it gets up here. All right, now that's just the average right there. It can go faster. It can be one of the ones that's, think about it. 1 out of every 2. If you have 2, population of 2, 1 of those is above average, 1 of those is below average, right? Think about it. You and one other person on the road. Who's the average driver? One of you is below average. Is it you? One of you is above average. All right? Is that you? You tell me. It's kind of scary when you think about it. You're like, oh, these idiots out here. Maybe you're the above average driver, and 1 out of every 2. All right? Just think about that. It becomes really scary when you're out on the road. Anyway, team right here. Nice pop. Nice pop. Package software. We have some resistance right there at the roadmap line. And if we can get through it, we can start hustling higher right here. And that resistance level coming in right here where we topped out. 1, 2, 3, touch right there around 220-ish. If we get above that, we do have that gap down resistance right there, but I'd like to see that run on through, maybe 286 on the upside target if we can set that all up. But watch for the resistance and watch for a turn down off of the roadmap line and make a lower low. So that's entirely possible also. So this is something to watch out for. So there's resistance we can turn down from right up here. This is resistance we can turn down from right here. And nothing's clear or high probability at this point on team. Looking at KB. Well, consolidation. We basically hit the target. If we go load the new actual I added a fib line here. Ooh, this laptop is smoking hot. All right, we basically hit that target level, and if I actually put the thing on the low right there, we basically got in the vicinity right there. Didn't hit it fully, but got pretty darn close. Now, the main pattern, the main thing I would expect to happen would be a retrace right back in the zone right there. Just retrace that right back down, and then set up the next move higher. All right, that's kind of what I expect right there from KB. Maybe it works, maybe it doesn't. Next up, we have cold. That's natural gas, and that's ultra short natural gas. We are breaking through the roadmap line. This is an interesting situation. I kind of expected a bottom here, and we kind of made a bottom. So in G1 exclamation point, you should always go to the underlying. Oh, look at this. We have come down to support right there. Next level of support right down here. So this is support right here, and the next level of support is 618 right in here. And I should probably pull that up to the top. It seems to have adjusted itself. Oh, ABBV hitting the target on the 60-minute time frame. That was not an Apollo alert, just so you know. That was Echo Trades powered by Apollo, which is an experimental thing. Let's add. I'm always working on new stuff. So right here is going to be supports. That 618 level, right around 215. We get below that, odds are we're coming on down. This is the Apollo pattern upside down. I don't usually trade this upside down, but that target down here around $1.28, possibly even $1.10. Right down in this area, right down here, right down there. So that's natural gas on the downside. If we break this support, and this support sets up for that down there. And circling back to cold, what could that result in? Probably a retest of this area right there, around that 68, 69 area. And then possibly an extension up here around 92 if we're going to get that continuation. Right there. Simple as that. Same pattern all the time. Upside down, right side up, sideways, crooked. Same pattern all the time. All right. Everything I do is kind of powered by this pattern. That's why Goose says, if you don't know the pattern, don't even talk to me. Like, please learn the market roadmap pattern. It's that important. So PPLT, it was on the poppers list, but doesn't look like it's doing jack squat. That's just a sideways hot mess of just, and don't trade that. Don't mess with that stuff, right? There's no high probability setup right there. Not really. Be careful. VLCN, oh gosh, man, that's a dumpster fire. I'd push the button if I had it. Look at that, 100 for one split. Oh my gosh, look at that nastiness right there, 100 for one. And that's on top of doing a reverse split here, 45. So we're talking about 4,500 to 1 and a 5 for 1. So gosh, what are we at? 20,000 or something? Some grinder. Golly, I gotta get the calculator real quick. Let's see, 4,500 times 5. Yeah, 22,500 to 1. This thing has collapsed. 22,000. Like if you had 22,500 shares right over here, like just right over here, right back in when the market bottomed, like in October. Well, not hardly, early October, before the market did the final flush out. So if you had 22,000 shares here in October, now you have one share. 1 share. That's just ridiculous right there. Just ridiculous. Don't trade that. It was on the poppers list, but I think it's just complete garbage. At this point, HDB right here. That looks like a sideways chop fest. And for gosh sakes, please be careful. Please be careful out there. All right. Decliners, Lily. Well, I knew this was going to retrace at some point. We came up near the top of the channel. We can go back to the bottom of the channel. We can actually touch the roadmap line very, very easily. And there's no high probability anything right now. Long term, this is probably going to keep going up as long as they keep making new iterations of GLP-1 stuff. It's like I've talked about this on and off for months and months, starting to feel like years now, that these are like anti-addiction medications, not just weight loss, not just diabetes. They seem to be anti-addiction medicines, and as they apply it to more and more stuff, this thing could, gosh, the sky's the limit right here as they grow their income. And you'd be like, well, isn't it over the skis here? And if we go look at the financials right here, yeah, they are a big company, right? They're $837 billion, 950 million shares. That's, every dollar higher is, almost $1 billion coming to the market. And that's pretty big. But if we go on down the, oh cool, this one won't scroll like the one at the office. We're hanging right at the danger zone here, right at 20. I commonly hold anything over a 20 price to sales is kind of a danger zone, so we're hanging right there, but a little correction would put us back below 20 right there, and that's a safe zone below 20. So we're just right on the bleeding edge of being a dangerous proposition. Now you may be like, well, how does this compare to something like NVDA that you keep, you just said might pull back giant, right? Look at this. This one way over the 20 price to sales right there. Now, I'm not even talking earnings. Earnings are bull crap. If you ask me, they bake the numbers. You can't fake sales. All right, price to sales right there. Stuff over when it gets 20 over, price to sales ratio over 20. That's the danger zone. All right, that's the red zone. That's like running your race car in the red, and eventually something goes wrong. Something goes wrong. So be careful. That's what I would say. All right, and back to it. ASML, this one may very well pull back. It is likely to get a little bit more extension, possibly 1100, possibly up to the fib line there, 1110, but it's also highly likely to retrace all the way back down. We missed it right back in here in May. We likely to get that roadmap line retest right back in here, All right, SMCI, also looking likely to get that roadmap line retest. We rejected that 618 pretty hard. I wouldn't be surprised to get a retest all the way back down in this area too, down around 410, 420. All right, CRWD right here at the resistance. Wouldn't surprise me to get a retrace there. And FNGU, wouldn't surprise me to get a retrace there. And Nor Novadisk, wouldn't surprise me. See a recurring theme here. Wouldn't surprise me. Lennar already broke down below the roadmap line. How much further can we go? Let's see. I'm gonna mute out Discord really quickly. It's being a little bit annoying for me. And let's just close that real quick. And right here, now my phone's gonna blow up like crazy because I closed it on the computer. So we're at the extension right here, right there, and we may see this hit the next extension right there. And we did have a gap fill, or a gap zone right down here at this $125 area. We may come on down there on Lennar. May get down in here. All right, RNAC. Whew. Well, that's probably looks like a biotech. Yeah, biotech for sure. Biotechs are one of those things. All right, if you're new here, if you've not seen me on here before, first time, welcome. I'm glad you're here. But so decliners are things that were down $2 or more today in the pre-market. So 4 things don't generally follow my pattern. All right, Four things. First off, biotechs. Second off, China stuff. Third off, leverage stuff. And fourth off, stuff under 10 bucks. Doesn't always follow patterns. So those are things that are sometimes less likely to work out. Now, in Apollo, you'll see things that are under 10 bucks. Not often, but there are a few things in here that are under 10 bucks, like Sundial up here. Why is it in here? Because it's shown 83.3% of the time to pay out in the past. Now, that may have been when it was higher priced, but so caution is advised when it's down under 10 bucks. All right, that's just an extra layer of caution. JetBlue down here did work out to the good. So the patterns can work on low price stuff. It just, I'm more cautious on those low price things. The pattern can work on biotechs. The pattern can work on leverage stuff. The pattern can work on China stuff. It's been like, how many times do you touch the hot stove before you learn the lesson? Those four things have reoccurringly been a hot stove, and I've lost money. So I'm more cautious about those things. So biotech is like a big red flag for me, because the FDA can just approve or deny something. That's the Food and Drug Administration of the United States. And just make one of these biotechs just go crazy. Crazy up, crazy down, depending on what their, what the decision was. So to me, it's one of those not as tradable things. Now, Tesla, look at that. Beautiful. And as I mentioned earlier, highly likely to come up, find resistance at this long-term downtrend line. This downtrend line got started back here at the high in October of 21, and we've made lower highs, lower highs, lower highs, lower highs, lower highs, and now we're coming up for a potential test right there. We gap filled the gap from back here to earnings back yesterday, or I think it was yesterday morning early. So we've got this high, this high, this high, this high, this high, this high, and now we're at the test point right here. Are we going to test? Are we going to break through and head higher, or are we going to reject it and go lower again? That's the big question mark on Tesla right now. I do kind of expect us to possibly rally, maybe test that into earnings. Now, here's the deal. Here's the deal. Let's zoom up and talk about it a little bit closer time frame here, a little bit tighter zone. Now, if we stay on the downside before earnings coming up right here, 17th. That's what, 15 days? About 2 weeks ago. 2 weeks from now. Excuse me. Misspoke. If we stay on the downside, highly likely we retrace back to the roadmap line right in here. All right. Now, if we get above this, if we go ripping before earnings, this is earnings date right here. This is the key date right there. Highly likely we retrace right here at earnings and find support. Now, if we don't find support there, right there. It's that simple. All right. This is the path for Tesla right now. So we have key resistance right there at that downtrend line. Key resistance. And I find it a little bit comical that Rongamer left for Philmont right here, and Tesla does this right here while he's gone. For those of you that know Rongamer, he works for Tesla. He's worked for Tesla for like 7 years or 6 years. I don't know, like 6, 7 years. And he's a local mechanic in Knoxville that, he went through my Cybertruck before I got it, made sure it was all up to specs. And he left with my boys to go to Philmont on Sunday. And he's been kind of out of pocket. He may be on the stream. He's still got cell service until, I think, tomorrow when they hit the trail or something like that. And so he left, and then this thing goes absolutely crazy up. He has a vested interest in this stock. So it's just kind of comical to me. One of those just amusing coincidences, if you will. So, all right. And moving on. DHI, that one's getting hit with Lennar. And, yeah, that one could do a bigger, deeper retrace at this point. Let's see. We didn't hold the roadmap line so far. See that. Yeah, there. So support zone right in here, right in there. And if we get below that, we could do a deeper retrace, something like that. So we're looking for it to hold right in this zone right here around 125, 130. And if we don't get that, we may head down to 100 right there on DAR Horton. And PSTG, Pure Storage, that looks like it wants to retrace at that point. That was a heck of an extension. Last time we were down here back in December, Yeah, so many things look like they want to retrace. Here's that leveraged NVIDIA. That's going to look like it wants to retrace pretty deeply also. Come on, screen. Don't be slow. Oh, no. Had a hiccup on Wi-Fi. Dun, dun, dun. There we go. I should be back. Had a little hiccup. This one may decline right down here. Watch out for that. Right there. And yeah, that's just going to go with NVIDIA. That's a leveraged stuff right there. When I say one of the 4 things, leveraged, when I had that on the list, 2x bull, that's a leveraged thing. But that's got the head and shoulder. That one's almost more clear on the head and shoulders than actual NVIDIA. Look at this. You can see it right there, pretty dang clear. Like sometimes it's even more clear. Like if that breaks, look how funny this is. Look. See that right there? Look. Boom. So if you don't know the head and shoulders pattern, you can go look up on Investopedia. But essentially, we make a little peak, we make a bigger peak, and we make another peak. These 2 shoulders should be in the vicinity of the same size. There's not like hard and fast rules on that. You do need a neckline right here. Just cleared it. You need a neckline, right, where the origin point, the next low, the next low, and the next low all come in the same kind of spot. And then the head to the neck, you can expect that as the result if we break the neckline. Now, it's been I've kind of said this commonly over the time that if a lot of people see this, and I saw this on mainstream media last night, this head and shoulders pattern. If a lot of people see this pattern on NVIDIA, then we're going to fake out and do something different. That generally is what occurs. Like if everybody sees the head and shoulders pattern, it doesn't work. It just doesn't work. Now, if it's a pattern that nobody's really paying attention to, and maybe the mainstream media news I was reading wasn't really mainstream media news, this it can play out. Now, the other thing that can happen if we reject, it can make the move. That's the neckline to the head. So we can do that move and end up here again. That's a common way it works out too. So, head and shoulders failure tends to do that move to the upside. A head and shoulders working out would do the move down here. So, hope that's clear for everybody. Clear as mud. You can let me know. Nail, looks like we're almost to the target. Right down there. That's a leveraged 3x home builder supplies right there. VKTX. Right there at the supports. Can we bounce or do we go lower? PHM right here. We're about a minute away from more potential Apollo trades firing off. We'll see. PHM is at supports. If we can break back higher, get above that and head up here. The potential SC that has a potential to come a little deeper on the daily chart. Looks like almost got the resistance up there. ARM, that one was taking a dip yesterday. I do expect this. I kind of really expect this to come back down to this roadmap line area right down here pretty strongly. Right down here. And maybe back down here. Up, there we go. There's NEM, one of my favorite gold stocks right now. NEM. Try the line. There we go. So it looks like here's the high, here's the low. Did I get that right? Let's clear a couple of the other fib lines. I didn't draw that right. That would not be the correct one. It's gonna be a smaller one. It's that one. It picked up on that bounce right there. That move, 42.69 should be the target. See what we got. Yeah, pretty close. Pretty close. Pretty close. All right. And ASML fired off. Ooh, man. That's a fat move right there if that works out. That's a lower probability. Fat move right there. So let's check this one out. Check it out. So that's going to be probably this move right here. 1054. Yep, 1040, 1054.10. Yep, that move right there, that high, that low. That high, that low, that cross above right there. Sets it up to potentially rally up here. And if you don't like the 63% statistic, skip it, baby. Skip it. That's a high flyer right there. Hard to just put $1,000 risk on that one, or even $500 risk. High flyer right there. High flyer. All right, moving on. And let's see. SMCI. Already covered. CRWD. And it's hanging at resistance. That one may retrace. FNGU. Watch for that to retrace. That's a 3x leveraged on Fangs. NVO. That one can retrace pretty deeply right there. Yeah, I was already down through these. Down, yeah. TECL. Lost where I was in the list. There we go. TECL and retrace. I was like, all these seem like I've already talked about them. Yeah, retrace on TECL. That's a 3x leverage on technology. That can cut both ways. MSM, mainstream media. I mean MSC, industrial. I actually buy stuff from these people. Funny enough, it's not looking too good for. I mean, let's be honest. These people make tools, like not like hammers. We're talking about like CNC machining tools. All right, like cutters, things that cut metal and things like that. And ooh, what do we do? That's a Airbnb close at the target. Dun, 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 dun. Apollo gets another one right there. That was from yesterday? No, today. That was today. That was the one I fired off early. So if you got Airbnb, yeah, I'm so lost. Airbnb right there. So right there. Boom. That was an in and out day trade right there on Airbnb. Boom. There you go, Sledge. There you go, Laura. There you go, David. There you go, Ed. Another winner chicken dinner right there on Airbnb. Love it. This thing just works when it works. It's so beautiful. It's a cool piece of technology. And Toll Brothers flushing in the toilet. Flushing in the toilet right there. I love it. Love it. Alrighty. That's might go lower on Toll Brothers. Well, everybody, that's kind of the end of the show. We broke records of the we broke records here at the company yesterday with my biggest event of the year, which went on to we had those 3 winners yesterday. We've already got Airbnb winning today, and now Lancey Belluto and I are going to go live at 10:30 this morning in about 25 minutes to uncover more Apollo stocks and share more with you if you don't know yet, and something to be aware of. We have a $500 discount that expires when I fly home at midnight tonight. It's gonna be finito. It's gonna be done. So if you want in on this $500 discount for opening day Apollo, opening day was yesterday. Today's a little catch up, just in case you missed it. Come visit us 10:30 a.m. right there, and I'll throw the link in the chat one more time, right here. Come see us. Now, bias for the day to wrap it up, because I always give you the bias for the day. I would be extremely kind of cautious here. It looks like we may do a 30-minute bounce here, though. This Apollo may fire off. Watch this. Watch this level right here. Watch this level. 54.93 right here. Watch this level. Here you go. This is the key. Set your alert right there. If we get that, we're probably going to make a new high right up here. 55.34. You may be like, well, how often does that occur, JT? 69%. I mean, it's not the most banginest ever, but 91 past trades, 69%. That's like almost 70% of the time. You could kind of bank on that, right? And that's a 30-minute time frame. So watch that right there. If we get above that 55 or 54.95 area, probably cruising right up there. Could you do it with SPY? Yeah, you could. Could you do it with XSP? Yeah, you could. Could you do it with SPX options? Yeah, you could. It's up to you how you trade it. All right, I'm not telling you how to trade it. Just saying that. So that's what to watch. Now, if we break below this low here, we may do this gap fill right over here. Watch out for that right down there. Hey, that's kind of what I'm watching. And, well, I would be watching if I was glued to the charts. So hopefully you find something awesome. And we'll see you later. Bye for now.